In the words of the cloaker, I know, I'm late. But you know what else the cloaker said? Better late than never. It's a Steam Deck. And it's my Steam Deck. And it only cost me 339 bones and 15 cents. And you know what? It's a bad time to be a gamer. And in retrospect, this might have been the most sound investment I may have ever made. With the whole RAM thing going on right now. I think I dodged a bullet with this. And I can already tell you, I've had this thing for a little bit less than 2 weeks. I turned in my Switch 2 in the 2-week mark. I had enough. There weren't as many good games coming in that I was like, oh, just hold out a little longer. Ooh, things are going to be coming. Just wait. No. It was fun, but I was done. So I returned it. And I used the money to get this. And I can already tell you, I absolutely love this thing. This is the single greatest investment I have made in a very long time, and I have bought a lot of things, so that is saying something. Also, isn't it nice that Valve just gives you a carrying case off the rip for free? Honestly, the Switch 2 is like one of the few consoles that you really do need a case for. Like, that thing was already looking like it's been through a war in 2 weeks. Just imagine what that's going to look like in 6 months, 8 months, a year. This thing comes with a case right off the rip. Whoa, jump cut. The magic of editing, everyone. Anyway, here it is. This is my Steam Deck. This is a 256 gigabyte LCD model. And again, I paid about $339 for this. It was on sale for $319.20, and I was like, at that price, I better get in on this. I've always wanted one of these, and now I have one. I'm so happy. Let's just turn this puppy on, and I want to show you what games I've got on here, what I've been doing lately. I've removed a few games, put a few new ones on there, just kind of had some fun with the thing. So as you can see, my screen, it's alright. There's a little bit of color fringing going on here, a bit up here. But, it's not as bad as the Switch 2's screen, so I don't really care too much.
Can you notice a little something about this screen? Do you see those little, see little dots? See little dots going on here? Oh, you can see them real bad here.
And yeah, pretty small screen size, but again, it doesn't really matter. Games still look great on this thing. I really don't mind. Cool. So let's take a look at this thing. So I was just playing Omega, great game, but dead servers. You got Team Fortress 2, you got Peak, great game. And yeah, I've just been trying a bunch of stuff. And you can kind of see my little library here. I don't have much. I barely used Steam for the longest time, but now I'm kind of just rebuying my backlog on Steam. And this is what I've got right now installed. I got Sky, Peak, Mad Max, and Team Fortress 2. Isn't this just wonderful? ...2007 game, by the way, but that's why it's the GOAT for real. Ooh, you're a little bit higher up now. Don't get used to it. I'm using a video cassette as leverage. But easily, the coolest thing about this thing is you can just chuck this in your bag, put it in the case, chuck it in your bag, take it wherever you go, and then pull it out and just enjoy a little bit of Mad Max. Easily my favorite game of the 8th gen, and it just runs so nice on this. Look at that. I got it set to 40 FPS on most games because that's just how the battery works. We'll get to the battery in a moment. But yeah, I mean, just look at this. Of course, every good console can play Mad Max, but only great ones can play Peggle. And this does, believe it or not. It's a little finicky. You got to use the trackpad, but it works. There's the mouse cursor. I don't like to delete my save. Why did it delete my save? Yeah, it does that sometimes, I guess. I think this is a Peggle thing. This only seems to happen on Peggle, but yeah, that is a thing I've noticed. It's only been about a week in, and I'm already making memories. Wavetail, my beloved, one of the original Stadia exclusives, runs great on deck. Look at that beauty. But after a long day of peopling, it's nice to just go home and say, I'm gonna watch the ducks for a while. You can. Yes, I know this is also on Switch. Shut up. But easily the thing I love the most about this thing. It's a good gaming machine. There are better handhelds out there. There are also more expensive handhelds out there. But nothing really gets the value that this thing has. But even better than all of that is when you actually want to do something that isn't game, it's a full-on Linux computer. I can do Blender on this. I can run Opera and just browse the web. You could probably do your taxes on this thing. You can't do that on the Switch 2 or a Switch 1 for that matter, or pretty much anything because they keep removing browsers due to exploit, buggery. But this, you have the freedom. Do what you want. Break the system if you want. Linux is incredible in both how scary it is and how relieving it is to just have a fast, efficient operating system that just lets you do what you need to do, no matter how stupidly borkable that is. And the best part is gaming is finally good. This is my first Linux rodeo. I used to install like freaking Ubuntu 11 on my freaking compact back in like 010, 011 or whatever. I've been around the block with Linux, and the fact that I can finally jump back into Linux as a full-time OS is just so liberating. Thank you, Valve. And Valve themselves are just awesome. You don't like a game, you can just ask for a refund, and in most cases, they'll just send it right to you. Steam has been the best place for me to play my games. Only problem is I just don't have that many friends to play with, but I'm slowly fixing that day by day by day by day. And I already have like 190 games on my wish list, and I am slowly but surely picking them out one by one, buying them and playing them. And now I have a means to do that. So I'm so grateful to this thing. People are right in that it is a backlog machine, a monster. This thing can take so many different games you wouldn't even think would run on something like this, and it will just play them happily. Maybe a little bit of tinkering, but it works. And any game that you really think of that you can't play on Switch, like, Transformers Devastation, Mad Max, freaking Arc Raiders, runs on this. Doom the Dark Ages doesn't have a Switch 2 port yet, but it runs on this. And Doom Eternal probably runs on this, although it is playable and not verified. Of course, there are some games I wish that would run just fine, like Rage 2. I think it actually did run fine at one point, and then Bethesda dropped like a 10 megabyte patch so that it doesn't work anymore. A lot of companies like to do that, and I can't play Fortnite on this, which I don't really like playing Fortnite, but it's one way for me to keep in touch with my sister, so I have to use Xbox Cloud Gaming, and I can only play an hour at a time, and I have to use my goddamn Stadia controller to even play the game because for whatever reason the default controls don't work. Oh, look at that, it just popped right back into life. Isn't that just magical? In fact, I love it so much I've dragged a whole bunch of my files onto this thing from my old decrepit MacBook. This is part of a rebrand that you never got to see because I didn't have the horsepower to actually animate whole videos. But now that I have the Steam Deck, maybe someday. And yes, that even includes the best children's cartoon ever, Oswald. I've got the entire series just booted up on here. The memories. And it's all possible on deck. Isn't that amazing? And then when you want to go play some games, just run up back here, it'll shut down Steam, and in just a few seconds, you're back to gaming. So yeah, I could have really just brought this thing over onto the camera and said, "Oi, check out my new Steam Deck, mate. It's fully sick, mate. I got all my favorite games on here, and it runs great. It has no problems, and then I don't have to deal with freaking Windows and Mac." And but yeah, I just wanted to give my own personal thoughts on the thing. And I'm not Dankbots. I don't do videos like that. I do just raw, unfiltered, point a camera at a thing and talk about it videos. And well, now I've done one for the Steam Deck. This is not the last one. I ended up buying the dock, and I will unbox the dock on video. Hopefully with a better camera setup, because this is falling apart. I guess you could see that throughout the video. But yeah, old setup falling apart. I need to fix things. But hopefully that will be doable by the time the dock arrives. But I doubt it. But Nick, you scream at me from a passing bus. There has to be something you hate about this thing. And you are right, there are a couple of things. The battery is not the greatest. This thing gets about 3 to 8 hours on battery life because the LCD just has a worse battery than the OLED does. And I didn't buy the OLED because I didn't want to spend 550 bones. Yeah, I've gotten about like 2, maybe 3 hours on Mad Max every charge. I've been able to get like, what 5 hours on games like Devastation and like Peggle. And the desktop, it just sips power. I can do full renders on Blender and like only take up like 2% of battery life. It's great. But, you know, it would be nicer to play some games just docked, plugged in, charging. And that is exactly what I plan to do. And hey, with the dock, you can take advantage of keyboard and mouse, making games like Team Fortress 2 infinitely more playable. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. So yeah, you have the freedom to do what you want with this thing. But it does come with some trade-offs. It is a portable computer, after all. I wouldn't expect like 12 hours of battery life from this thing. It was a 2022 device, portable PC, sacrifice that to be made. Although I do have one more issue. This strap is also one of the reasons. I put this on a couch once for like 5 minutes, and now it looks like that. This thing's heckin' small. Also same, but you know what I mean. This thing is definitely not long enough. I know that the Steam Deck OLED comes with a longer cable, but I am a little disappointed at just how small the Steam Deck's charging adapter is. Like, it reaches from one end of this center console to the other. It's about like 1.5 meters, so not the greatest. I believe the Steam Deck dock comes with the same cable, although it does have like a little Steam Deck logo on the side, which this doesn't, but it is a chickadee adapter, so there is that. But yeah, it is a serviceable adapter, but you might want a little more length out of it, and it just can't deliver that. You might have to get one later on. But to conclude, this is a gaming machine. And if my greatest complaint about a gaming machine is that I can't play it more, I think you've made a good machine, and I think Valve really has here. The Steam Deck is just my favorite little thing. I mean, it's not little, it's massive, but I love it. It's freaking huge, it's freaking comfortable, and it's freaking amazing. And there goes the case. I'll have to fish that out later. But yeah, I adore this thing, and I cannot recommend it enough. Wait for the next sale, and then jump on this thing, because God knows how much longer this is going to be available for $3.99, given the whole RAM thing going on. I do plan to get a Steam machine, and a Steam frame, and a Steam controller at some point. Given the whole RAM thing, I'm guessing they're going to be expensive, so it might be a while, but do stay tuned for that, and do stay tuned for the unboxing of the dock. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Steam Deck, because I know I haven't done one of these videos in a very long time. I'm rusty. I know you can tell. But hopefully I can do this more later on. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoy videos about things like this. And until next time, I bid you farewell. Oh yeah, and everything I did getting this video made only took up like 6% of the battery.